And then there were two political candidates. In one corner, we have the warmongering witch Nikki Haley. And in the other corner, we have the Make America Great Donald Trump Orange Man. And just before the New Hampshire primary, I just want to do a full autopsy on how we even got here. This has been a hilarious process the whole time. I mean, Donald Trump didn't even show up to any of these debates, and he still beat all these clowns. I'm not going to go through each individual no-name who left the primary process earlier. I'm just going to go through the main ones that I remember leaving. So the first person of significance to drop out was our good old favorite Christian evangelical Mike Pence. I already ranted about this guy once, but I will say this guy is the most pro-life candidate ever. He literally wants to force women to have stillborns, which literally is the most extremist position you can have on the issue of abortion. So, to which I say, Mike Pence, thanks for playing, go f*** yourself. So the next clown to leave the clown car is another Christian evangelical everyone loves, Tim Scott. I'm not going to speak too ill of Tim Scott, but he's another Christian evangelical who wants to be so vocal about being pro-life. And even Donald Trump is reading the room and the rest of the country being like, hey, maybe we shouldn't put this as a forefront of our policy because most of the country doesn't want to ban abortion outright for everybody. But Tim Scott wanted to get everyone on the record to actually do this, and everyone's just like, Tim Scott, shut the f*** up. And then there were four people in the clown car: Nikki Haley, Ron DeSanctimonious, Chris Christie, and Vivek Ramaswamy. I was actually sad to see Chris Christie go next. I had a certain fondness for him back in 2016. He's the only one actually trying to call out Trump, which everyone is like, oh, I will not name Donald Trump by name while criticizing him because they're terrified of his base. And I gotta give him a little respect there, at least trying to actually go against Trump. And people who follow my channel who are actually Trump supporters, hey, I respect your right to vote for him. I don't think you should kick him off the ballot or anything like this. But let's just say I'm not a fan of the dude, but at the same time, I do think he's better than Nikki Haley. And sadly, the other candidate I actually kind of like was Vivek Ramaswamy. And, the reason I really like Vivek Ramaswamy is because he called out totally everybody during these debates. I mean, literally he called Nikki Haley a fascist and said she's a warmonger and she's going to probably barrel us into World War III. Whether or not that'll happen, I have no idea. But I will say, I do think it's important for establishment candidates to hear this voice because he was a younger voice and he's not someone who's cut from the mold of a typical Republican rhino. And our last, only really Trump alternative was Ron DeSanctimonious. And between him having high heels on and the dude just obviously being introverted and just awkward, I was sad to see him go because I think he's better than Nikki Haley. Whether he's better than Trump, who knows? He did endorse Donald Trump, so we'll have to wait and see there. But at the same time, I was just like, oh, great. Now Nikki Haley's the only white hope for the people who actually are in charge right now. And now all we have left in the Republican primary is the great orange man and the warmongering witch Nikki Haley. I'm not too fond of either one of these choices, to be honest with you. But at the same time, it is what it is. This is democracy, and we'll see what happens because there's probably a good chance Nikki Haley gets clapped by Trump, and it's going to be a rematch between Biden and Trump, which most of the country doesn't actually want to see. But it is what it is.